Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Blue Knight 7 with the Blue Knight Cast, and I'm going to do my second update on episode 16. 16.6, because who knows between now and tomorrow. But we do have confirmation now that there is a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Also, it appears to be a general Direct. There's no Direct Mini. There is no Direct Partner Showcase. No Direct Partner Showcase Mini. No Direct Indie World Partner Showcase Mini. You know, none of the other made up names you can think of. So, just to do a quick recap, we're all waiting for the April 2nd Direct focused on Nintendo Switch 2. There was some speculation there would be a Nintendo Switch 1 Direct, maybe in February. Everybody kept waiting for that. Did not happen. And apparently Nintendo decided to drop this at the end of March, right before the fiscal year ends, right before the next fiscal year begins, where they were going to have their Switch 2 blowout that we've known about probably for a longer period of time than we've known about most other Nintendo Directs. And I want to give a special shout out to the VG Mobster. He has a pretty good community going on X. I'm a member of that community. I'll give him a special shout out just for tipping me off to this. He's one of the few people on the internet I call friend. But as you can see here with his post on X, he quote tweeted it or quote posted it, if you will. Tune in tomorrow, March 27th at 7 a.m. Pacific Time for a live stream Nintendo Direct featuring around 30 minutes of upcoming games for Nintendo Switch. There will be no updates about Nintendo Switch 2 during this presentation. They still have to put that. There will be no updates about Nintendo Switch 2 during this presentation. And as you can see, I responded down below. I'll get into that in a minute. And obviously excitement in the replies. Also, shout out to Francisco Ledesma. He makes me laugh. Also friend in my eyes. And anyway, this is going to be a big deal. And I just wanted to go to get on here, do a quick episode just to let everybody know. Apparently it's going to be tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific, so 10 a.m. Eastern. And am I changing any of my predictions? Not really. The biggest thing I would say is if they're doing 30 minutes, I'm going to say Metroid Prime 4 is a lock. Now, I do not think this locks it out of being seen again on April 2nd. Metroid Prime 4 was primarily developed as a Switch 1 game, so to me it'd be kind of weird if you didn't see it here. What they could be doing is giving it, this is the theory I'm leaning towards now more as I think about it and discuss it with peers, is that it could be a double exposure for Prime 4. It gets an actual legit gameplay trailer, story trailer, something tomorrow. Maybe an explanation of its main gameplay hook. I think it's going to be larger areas to explore this time. Think Xenoblade. For at least a few areas. I don't know. We'll find out. I think there's more to it than that, though. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I believe if they're going for 30 minutes, it has to have a few of those minutes. I also think it could still be seen again, though, on April 2nd during the Switch 2 Direct, like maybe the only game that gets this treatment, just to show what enhancements, if any, it gets for the Switch 2 version. Yes, I'm still assuming there's a Switch 2 version. I think this is the cross-gen game for this generation. Even if Breath of the Wild 4K is there, I still consider this to be the cross-gen game for this particular generation. Okay. And I'm going to keep saying that until proven wrong. We now know it's not a partner direct, so I think some of the Nintendo remasters that's been circulating around is still a lock. I'll go with the Kirby Planet Robobot remaster that Nate the Hate has indicated. I will go with the Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake that Nate the Hate's also talked about. I do put a lot of stock in him. I know Nash Weedle put out a post recent that was a little different, like he was pointing at Fire Emblem Gaiden or Fire Emblem 2. We'll just see what happens here. But I'll hold to Genealogy of the Holy War. The rumored Zelda Wind Waker Twilight Princess ports from the HD versions on Wii U to Switch, I think we could see one of them here. Maybe both, but I'm going to say one of them. Maybe start with Wind Waker and we hear about Twilight Princess at a later date. Also, and I'm getting to where I'm starting to forget about these because we keep talking about them and never see them, but Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3. To me, it's if you're going to release them, do it now. I would not be shocked if Metroid Prime 2 was a shadow drop tomorrow. But if I don't see them, I'm just going to say when they come, they come. I'm not going to predict them anymore. Also, and I know this sounds crazy, but there has been rumblings about updates on a Hollow Knight Steam page causing a big commotion. Yeah, you're going to have another wave of people predicting Hollow Knight Silk Song. Maybe finally getting a trailer or something on this Direct. It probably is a Switch 1 game, but I don't know. That's, to me at this point, that's one of them where it's like it comes when it comes. But why not? If you did that, just think for a minute here. If you just did what I said, and you put in Kirby Planet Robobot, a Fire Emblem remaster, a Legend of Zelda remaster, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters, let's say. Hollow Knight Silk Song. You can make that the one more thing at this point. And then also give Metroid Prime 4 some airtime. That's already a direct that's packing quite a bit of heat. On the third party side, things I've said before, I think there's still more Switch ports in the works from third parties, and if we're going 30 minutes at this point, there must be more than I was thinking. But you could see Square with Dragon Quest 1 and 2, the HD 2D remasters, maybe just a little trailer for them. What if they did drop Chrono Trigger for like the Android PC version just to get one out, or make a Chrono Trigger announcement? We got a general direct at this point. The sky's the limit, people. And Namco, you could see another random port from them pretty easy. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, and insert in random indie game, sure. And you know, usually when you have a general direct, you have some kind of a sizzle. Most directs you have a sizzle reel. So I'm just expecting ports we haven't been talking about that's going to come. Some indie games maybe we haven't been talking about that's going to come. And we'll see what happens. I'm not saying this is going to be the most mind-blowing direct ever. That's probably next week. I would most certainly hope it's next week. But Could we see all these things? Yes. If you want 2 more long shots, I'll throw them out there. F-Zero. I know Switch 2 is getting Mario Kart. But what if Switch 1 finally got the F-Zero GX remake that's talked about so much? What if Nintendo just figured it out, got it out? I'll give you I'll give you 2 more. Another is, what if there is something Star Fox here? I was hoping, we'd see something here eventually, and there have been rumors of something like a Star Fox Adventures game we haven't seen. If we wanted a new game that was a Metroid Prime 4 and it ended up being for Switch 1, good time to drop it tomorrow. I don't think it would steal Metroid's fire by any means, though I would love to see it. GX remake, Star Fox, anything new from F-Zero even, I don't think that would steal Metroid's fire, and I would love to see those. I do think Metroid's going to be like the headliner in the end. And then there's one other thing I'll just throw out there. There's been talk about GameCube coming to Nintendo Switch Online because of the FCC filings on that GameCube controller. I would think that would be a Switch 1 feature. I really would. But what if, or I would think it would be a Switch 2 feature, really would. But what if it's for Switch 1 as well? I don't think there's a real serious excuse for not having it on Switch 1. Other than maybe file size of the games, memory available. But what if they figured out a way around that? They could just say that's for Switch 2. I get that. And that may be exactly what's going on. But I'm still going to hold to the idea that between tomorrow and next week we're going to see that. And I'm going to try to, like I say, I'm trying to keep this short. The actual episode 17 is still coming out later today. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and monetization. And any help, support from the audience here is greatly appreciated. Hit the notification bell if you want to get an update every time I release an episode. Yeah, I will have another one out that was already scheduled to be out today. And I guess you'll probably hear from me sometime tomorrow about whatever my impressions were on this direct. It may not be at 1 o'clock like I shoot for most of my entries, but we'll definitely get something out. Thank you all, and good day.